Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Junior Pro Talk. Tonight we have Emily B,
Hi.
Jonathan Clark,
Hey guys.
Roy Green,
What's up?
and Will Raper. And
Hey
also
guys.
our first guest for Junior Pro Talk is the one and only George Ryals.
Hello, what's up?
All right, so today George is going to talk about the archery camp in South Dakota that he helped run this or last week, I guess you could say. So, George, what was going on out in South Dakota?
Well, essentially what happened is it is the first sort of qualifying school for junior pros. The NFAA is trying to come up with a junior pro class. I believe they're going to set it up for 15-year-olds and older. And we had Larry Wise, Linda Beck, Bob Romero, and myself were the coaches of this program. They invited several of the top juniors from around the country, and I use that term juniors loosely. There were cadets there and Cubs and, a few others, but juniors as in not adults. So we went through, and everyone got an introduction of the new compound NTS system, the National Training System for Compound, which is pretty cool. And one of the exercises that they went through, most people when they start talking about NTS, they're like, oh my God, they're going to change my form. What are they going to do? The whole thing. The first exercise that they did was ask everybody what they thought each of the steps were in NTS and what could they say about it, or what was holding, what was anchor, what was. Everyone discovered that they were already doing most of the things that were in that compound NTS stuff. And essentially what the coaches did is help people reorganize not the what to do, but when to do it. And it was the first one of these camps that I've seen that had so many girls. It was probably 75% girls, which was pretty cool.
Holy fuck.
And we had some exceptionally good shooters there, and myself, Linda Beck, even Larry Wise said that it was probably the best camp that we've ever taken part in. Everyone was eager to learn. They were hungry. I mean, Roy, you were there. I mean, it was a blast. And just having that huge facility to shoot 50 meters indoors, 90 meters indoors, it was awesome. And everybody got an introduction to field archery. Many of the people there had never shot field archery. Field archery is a course through the woods that you rove around, set your sight for various distances, and shoot 4 arrows per target for 28 targets. And Roy, was that your first time shooting a field course?
It was my second time shooting a field course, but pretty much, yeah, I hadn't shot field in a while, so I thought it was great. It was good fun. I mean, the camp was awesome. I learned a lot there, so.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a few of the other guys there that had never shot field archery. They were like, this is cool, let's do it. Oh, and by the way, Jonathan, I have a standing order from one of the guys that was there that we got to go to Jonathan's, refurb the field course, and get that rolling.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that
expect
from
a crew.
I've heard that from a bunch of people. We're going to get it going again. We've got a field course at LCA, but it's going to take some work.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring a crew out there and knock it out. We'll have to walk around it, get a parts list, and figure out what we need and get some stuff donated and just get that done. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be sweet, especially in Georgia. Like, George, you were saying, there's not a whole lot of field courses down there.
No, there's not. Field archery is pretty rough here because there just aren't any courses. I mean, the only standing course that I know of that's like operational is down in Savannah, which is 5 hours away from me. So It's not like I can trot down there and shoot during the weekend.
Yeah, and it's hard to do field archery in Georgia because there's so many 3D shooters, and they have no idea what field archery is. But I'm a 3D shooter. I love field archery, but we only get to shoot it every so often because there's just not any. So when we do, it's a blast. I love field archery.
Yeah,
but the junior camp was awesome. It was a great time. And this next week, starting Monday, I'm going to do sort of the same thing, except for the people that weren't in the junior pro camp, I'm going to give an introduction of NTS again for the benefit of those people that haven't seen it before. But then we're going to dig in a little bit deeper into some of my little tips and secrets that are sort of outside the book, of the standard NTS program. It still is totally in line with what it is that they're doing, but it's just a few things that I know that make it a little easier to do. So we'll spend a week on that. We're going to have fun, and it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, that's cool, and that's down at the Archery Learning Center, right?
Yep, Archery Learning Center, Snellville, Georgia.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can't go to that, but
you can't go to that.
I know. I'll be gone.
You're always invited. You are always invited.
Okay, and I took advantage of that over the summer or over the school year too. So.
Yeah, we did drag you in. You were down for a DECA mission here in Atlanta, and we had to send Will after you.
I had an off day, and nothing was going on. Came down and shot your bow, actually. Shot outside a little bit.
Yeah, it hasn't been the same since either. I'm still working with that bow.
You're shooting a lot better now that I've shot it, haven't you?
I'm shooting a different bow. You know that black FX of mine? I love that bow.
Yeah, you just got I saw an Instagram picture that you just got a red one, right?
Oh, dude. I have it all set up now. It is gorgeous.
You got your red one in, George?
I got a red bow. I got red stabilizers. I put a black grip on it. It is so hot. I can't stand it. And I can't shoot it because my grip is drying.
All this talk is making my ears hurt. We need to change the subject here.
Come on, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's so hot I can't stand it. So I can't wait to shoot it.
I still haven't shot one of the FXs, and I think I'm gonna have to.
It's a good shooting bow.
Yeah, Emily for sure is gonna have to eventually get her hands on one because her draw length is so small. Her poundage is only like 40 to 45 pounds.
I am not that wimpy, guys.
What is your draw length, Emily?
23 and a half.
Yeah, highly recommended. You won't believe how good that bow will shoot for you. Yeah. It'll just fit better because it's a smaller scale.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, because right now she's shooting the Pro Comp with 1,000 limbs, so it's kind of smaller for her.
A ton, but still I need more.
She still needs that shorter riser and just altogether smaller bow.
If you get the FX short draw, which I think you might need to get at 23 inches, it'll have 1,000 limbs on it. It'll have GTX cams. I just sold one to Alan Holsinger, one of our Hornet kids. He moved right into that bow and shot a killer 50-meter score. Or, I'm sorry, 30 meters. He's a cub. But he shot a killer 50-meter score with it yesterday just right out of the box. It's a good shooter for him. You're going to love it.
Wow. Yeah.
That's really cool. Talking about 30 meters, Matthew Weinstein has been killing it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's tearing it up at 30 meters. I have him shooting at 50 because he's destroying all of his arrows. And he's like, you think I should practice at 30? I'm like, Matthew, 30 is working for you. Let's just shoot 50 and, enjoy yourself and, get your great. He's shooting great scores at 50. So, I got to save his arrows long enough to get through nationals.
He's been posting a couple 360s at 30 meters. So
he shot more than 1,720 at 30 meters.
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yep. We get good weather here. We don't have to deal with wind very much. Our little back shooting lot is very easy to shoot well in. You've shot there, so you know what's up.
That's good, though. Like, same with my backyard. It gets a good form rolling, and you can just get your sight marked and then have those trips out to win locations or out to certain tournaments. So.
Yeah, then you show up to SoCal and go, oh, my God, what is happening?
All right, well, let's give a shout-out real quick to David Hauser. Like we've been talking about every Junior Pro Talk. It's his birthday today. It's his 17th birthday. So happy birthday to David Hauser.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jonathan.
Did you say happy birthday to John?
You're a little
David,
for some reason I thought it was Jonathan's birthday.
Oh man. You don't show up
week.
This week you're screwing up birthdays.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, get the program here, Roy.
Hopefully Hauser's having a good day, though, you know?
Yeah, hopefully he's spending it good out in PA.
Yeah, he said he's having a good day. I've done talked to him, so
Oh yeah. Oh,
that'll
sweet.
solve your wondering, Roy.
Yeah.
And
How
it
was your day,
is.
Jonathan?
My day's been good. On vacation, I have my bow with me, so I've been able to shoot. So it's been fun.
Go ahead, Jonathan. Show us the beach.
Show you the wait. Hold on.
Show us the
It's
beach,
coming.
Jonathan.
There
You
you
got
go.
to You got to rub it in our faces. There
Drop
it
the
is.
door. Hold on. There's the beach.
There's
Right there.
Jonathan living life large at the beach.
That'll be
Yep.
that'll be some really good wind practice if you set up a target right out there on the sand.
It is insane. It's been like 20-mile-an-hour winds today, so hopefully it'll be good practice for Ohio.
Good
that'll
practice
be
for
good.
World Cup Anatolia. Just set your target to the north and go for it.
Yeah, it actually has. It's been fun to try and get a form rolling with the wind blowing.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't always hit anything, but that's okay.
Yeah. So, Jonathan, you had an equipment change. I saw in a couple Instagram pictures you are back with your old bow setup. What's up with that?
Nothing really, other than I set up the Chill X a couple weeks ago, and the last tournament I just did not. I didn't shoot well myself, and then on top of that, um, the bow shot fine. I know I have confidence in both my apexes from I've shot them for 4 years now, and I've tried to swap bows this year several times, just trying to see if anything else will work. So what I did, we've got one more tournament of the year, and it's the biggest one of the year, I just stripped everything completely down and set everything back up the exact way I had it before, so that I could get all of my confidence back in my equipment. And then I'll play with the Chill X some more in the off season.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, but hopefully you're shooting good. Looks like in your pictures and stuff, it's doing good. So,
Yeah, it's going pretty good.
all right. So, like we had a group message going before this, and George was saying he wanted to talk about a couple new products that were going around in the archery world as a rumor. So, George, do you have any new products you'd like to talk about or anything like that?
Yeah, there's two new things that I'm playing with. One happens to be the one and only Jonathan's product. His family runs Last Chance Archery, and they have a new fletching jig that's kind of a reinvention of how to fletch arrows, called the Vane Master Pro. And that has been, I've fletched 6 or 8 dozen arrows on it now. And
Okay.
that has to be the coolest fletching jig I have ever used. And what makes it different from all the others, the standard Bitzenberger that everybody's used to, is it uses a pair of like parallel wires, and the wires hold the vane. So what happens with the wires is you're able to get a perfect helical. You've tried to fletch helical with a Bitzenberger, and the tip of the clamp and the rear of the clamp touches the arrow, but there's kind of a gap in the middle because the clamp can't actually get around the arrow. Well, they've solved that problem by mounting the wires on a pair of like little discs. And the wires, when you turn the disc, it wraps the helical sort of around the shaft. So you get exact vane contact all the way around the shaft, and you can set it in 5-degree, correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan, it's 5-degree increments. You can do left helical, you can do right helical, you can even do straight if that's what you prefer. And what I love about it is I was always a tyrant about my Bitzenberger jigs. I would set the jig up, I would fletch a dozen X10s, and then I would have to keep that jig just like it was, or otherwise if someone moved it around, I wouldn't be able to fletch another dozen X10s and keep them the same. But with the Vaymaster Pro, all of the settings are in there in such a way that all you got to do is move the pin, set it where it originally was, tighten it down, get vane contact across the base of the base of the vane in full contact with the shaft, and boom, you've got an exact fletching job that you did last outdoor season on some old X10s. So I can duplicate from dozen to dozen to dozen, have the exact same fletching job, and I've never been able to do that with any other jig. So good job, Jonathan. I love it.
Yeah, that sounds really sweet. Jonathan, how's that been selling? Has that been going viral in the Last Chance Archery world, or?
It's been doing good, and we did a bunch of magazine ads in the past couple months, so it's been going good, and they're selling really well.
That's sweet. All right, well, if you guys want to check out Last Chance Archery and their new fletching jig, head on over to, what is it, www.lastchancearchery.com?
That's it.
I'm guessing.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Yep.
there you go. Go ahead and check that out. All right, and also, if you guys follow George or Will, or I think even Roy, you can see that their bows have this custom weird grip thing going on.
Dude, don't be spreading that around.
That's a secret.
George, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I've always been a fan of a slightly higher grip, and I feel that it's important because well, you can test if you take your arm and stick it straight out like this, with your elbow locked out, and stick your hand straight up and down to make it kind of flat. You can feel that tension up here in your forearm. But when you have that tension there, if you just change the angle just a couple of degrees, all of a sudden, boom, all that tension right there is gone. So, go ahead, Chris. What was that?
It's almost like a recurve grip. I wonder if
Sort
if
of.
that high poundage or whatever, like the tension up in your upper arm, if that relieves that higher tension when you're shooting 50 or 60 pounds.
It does. With a recurve bow, they have an even higher grip angle because you can't shoot a recurve with that much weight with your hand being perfectly flat to the grip this way. It's just so uncomfortable. It's not even doable. And the compound grip angle, way back, I used to be a product designer for Martin Archery. And we always put wooden grips on the compound bows. And the grips for Martin Archery were kind of fat. And it was a very high wrist grip angle that kind of mimicked a recurve. And they did it that way back in the early 80s because that's just how bows looked, right? But pros figured out that a smaller, more narrow grip was more accurate. So they started knocking those grips off of the bows and just shooting the bare riser. And in the mid-90s, Martin Archery started just putting little wooden scales on the sides of the grip, and that grip was there. Well, the grip angle was low because the wood grip that used to be on there supplied the angle of the grip. Well, when they knocked that off, you have this really low, like 17-degree grip angle that's there, and we just learned how to shoot with it. Later on, I made a few other bows, the Martin Razor X, the Slayer, the Altitude, a few of the other Martin bows that sold really well back in the day, with a higher 23-degree, 25-degree grip angle. It's just a little bit more angle. And that released pressure, and it made a normal shoot. A pro is going to shoot great with anything. They have consistent form. They can repeat consistent archery form. They're going to shoot great. But with the higher grip angle, a normal guy with normal levels of consistency is going to see tighter groups. So with the Hoyt bows and even some Matthews bows and a few others, I've been modifying that 17-degree or 15-degree grip angle, and I've been bringing that up to about between 20 and 25, and it's just like instant stability because you release that pressure, and shooters aren't used to shooting with such a relaxed forearm, and it makes the bow more still. Well, Lancaster knows that I've been doing that with plumber's putty and that sort of stuff. It's hard to work with. It stinks. It sets too fast. It's a total nightmare. And half the time you got to put the stuff on and form it, and then you got to sand it to get it the way you want it because you can't really work the stuff. Well, Lancaster sent me some new stuff called Sugru. It's S-U-G-R-U. They've got it in stock now, and I tested it for a good while. And what this is it's like a black, silly putty material. And you take the stuff and you knead it up, and it takes 2 little packets, and you knead it up and then roll it together into like a little worm about that long. And then you just lay it on the grip and then begin molding it. And it's like molding silly putty to the grip, right? So I box it off, make it nice and square. I set the angle just like I want it, taper that up into the yoke of the grip so that it feels smooth. Then you let that sit. And though its consistency is like silly putty, after you let it sit 24 hours, 30 hours, it becomes hard like tire rubber. And it is such a comfortable, really super easy way to do it. Hampus Borgstrom just got a set of that Sugru, and he made a grip, just the very first grip. He sent me pictures, say, I made a grip, what do you think? And it was his first attempt, was beautiful because you can mold it. Today, I molded a grip for my the new red bow that came in. I molded it on the bow, and I wasn't thinking. And I go to take the bow out of my bench vise, and I grabbed it by the grip and smashed the grip that I just like painstakingly formed. Well, if that had been plumber's putty, it would have been totally destroyed, and I'd had to cut it off and get rid of it. But because that Sugru stuff is kind of like silly putty, few minutes, got it all put back together, and it was perfect. So now I've got it hidden over there in the corner, drying, and it's waiting. So this time tomorrow, I'm going to be shooting some arrows out of it. So Sugru, and you can get it from Lancaster.
So question, what happens if next week you're like, man, I need less of an angle or more of an angle? What do you do then? Can you like peel it off, or can you,
You can break it off of there pretty easy. And it's not so easy that it'll just flake off your grip in the middle of a tournament or something, but you can get it off of there pretty easy. And any remnant that's on there, you just kind of rub that off with your thumb, because it's sort of like, it becomes sort of like fugitive glue that they stick magazine inserts into magazines, like it's peelable, but it's not permanent.
Okay.
So you can break that off and just rub the remnant off, and boom, and you're back to where you started.
So
where the plumber's putty stuff, you got to break it off with a hammer nearly.
Yeah, so that just made me come up with an idea. I wonder if we could make a video kind of detailing or showing people how to use that. I wonder if we can make that happen.
That's going to happen. As soon as I get Jonathan off of his beach vacation out there in his hippie resort in Florida, as soon as I can get him back, we'll do a thing a week, and I'll mold a grip, because Roy will be in town, and I promised him a grip, and I let him leave Yankton without getting a grip on his bow.
I think that would be awesome.
Just for him, and we'll mold one on Roy's grip while he's here in town, and we'll be good to go.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right. Well, does anyone else have any other new products? Last Chance Archery coming out with anything new you want to talk about, Jonathan?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. All right. So not at the moment. Let's just put it that way. Okay.
No, not at the moment.
In air quotes, not at the moment.
Always not at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so Outdoor Nationals, Jonathan's been talking to a few people, and we're figuring out in the process of how to do live streaming at the tournament, after the tournament's done, lunch break, something like that, doing interviews. So we're in the process, right, Jonathan? Have you figured anything out?
Yeah, we should be able to do it. I'm still getting all the details put together, but there's some friends of mine that own a big archery company. They've been doing some live streaming at some of the 3D tournaments, so we should be able to do it.
Okay, yeah. So make sure to stop by at Junior Pro Talk YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. So if you are a junior, be on the lookout for us walking around. We may randomly come up and choose you to do an interview. Just be ready for it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Make sure your hair is good. Make sure your teeth are all good. Making sure there's no like lettuce or anything between your cracks. That'd be embarrassing.
Yeah, we'll try not to come up during lunch. How about that?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so we just hit the 22-minute mark, and I think we're good, guys.
Oh, one more new product. I have a rumor that has absolutely zero content to it, none whatsoever. I have no concrete information. However, I was told by someone at Hoyt that it's going to be shut up and take my money good. That's his exact words. Shut up and take my money. So
that's pretty strong. That's really
it's going to be cool.
That is pretty strong.
Shut up
coming
and take
from
my
a
money
Hoyt
for
shooter.
the comp. And they didn't say shut up and take my money for the spider. So
Spider's good. Spider's good.
I'm liking the sound of shut up and take my money.
Oh man, Jonathan, you might
Yes.
have, plastic bows are kind of outdated. I don't know, but
Oh,
dang.
You
ouch.
can't be struck
Wait,
by
hold
lightning
on,
on
hold
Scott
on,
out
everybody,
and
hold
take
on.
my money.
Wait, this is coming from the person wearing a sweatshirt in July.
You know what? It's kind of cold. I don't know if you can
Hey,
see
we're
that or
not in
not.
Georgia. Come on.
Hey
We're in
guys,
Michigan. Michigan.
Michigan's pretty crazy with their weather, guys.
is it cold
Yeah,
there
I
right
wore a
now?
sweatshirt today outside. It was like 60 degrees.
See what
Oh,
I'm
y'all
saying?
are.
You
It's
never
probably
know.
it's probably like 67 right now. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
67, 70.
Cold-natured people, I'm telling you.
I know. Can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
We just got out of our igloos a couple months ago.
I think Roy stayed in his too long.
Yeah.
So, Roy, bring your shorts and boots to Georgia next week. You're going to need them.
I will, for sure.
All right, well, that's all for this week, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Junior Pro Talk. Make sure to come back next week, Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That's 7 o'clock for all you guys out in Wisconsin. Unfortunately, Roy forgot that last week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
make sure to tune in, check out. We might throw in a video in between the week there, but we have our new website going on. Just Google Junior Pro Talk. You'll find lots of good stuff out there. All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks, guys.